Shit. Ninja? Ninja! Ninja!
It's 11:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
This is what got me started collecting the 50 caliber BMG ammo. I was at a gun show in Las Vegas and I saw the vendor had these for sale. They were selling each individual round, but they were also selling the short links with an assortment of ammo. And I really caught my eye and I really liked the concept of that. So I started my collection at that point. I just figured I'd play around with the software here as I was trying to manipulate images and offer a quick look at the BMG ammo. Just to go through them quickly, when there's no color at all, that's just plain ball ammo or a solid lead with a copper jacket. The black ones are armor piercing. The yellow ones are high speed armor piercing. These happen to be from the Dominican Republic. The orange ones are delayed tracers, and I imagine that's to help protect the location of the shooter. Long range tracers are the burgundy color. The silver ones are armor piercing and incendiary. The blue ones are just plain incendiary. The red and silver ones are armor-piercing incendiary tracers. The yellow-red spatter are small explosives with a tracer. And then the sabot shell is the one that's just over to the left right now, and that one's a high-energy projectile. Really cool stuff. Lots to learn about these pieces of ammo. Thanks for watching.
The guys and gals of gunwebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thanks for watching gunwebsites.com.
This little 50 shot a market. This little 50 shot a home. This little 50, no, okay, so I just got myself a Rufus round, so I'm thinking that calls for a celebration in the form of a bunch of quick videos about the 50 BMG. We know it's an awesome round. We know that it's doubly awesome because Browning invented it. But let's take a closer look at some of the items in this collection. Each of these videos will be under a minute, and we'll post them once a week. Let us know what you think of this format. And as always, thanks for watching.
So many great recommendations.
Yeah, Fire TV serves up the best options from all my apps in one place. It just gets what I'm into.
Monkeys.
All right, in this first in a series of short videos about the 50 BMG rounds in my collection, I'm going to take a look at the Rufus round, the one that started this whole thing. So this is the Mark 211 Mod 0. It's an explosive incendiary round. It's awesome. So we've got a legal amount of zirconium incendiary compound up front. Behind that is A4, so not C4, but A4, which is an RDX explosive, again, a legal amount to own. That is sitting around a 215 grain, 27 caliber tungsten steel penetrator. And then it's wrapped in copper, put into the case, and I have no idea how much powder it's sitting in front of, but that's what it is. So the idea is to give the 50 BMG the same punch as the 20 millimeter. So it's not exactly to blow up, but just to allow the explosion up front. The incendiary lights the explosive, which allows the steel core to go through and give the projectile as much power as it possibly can. Anyway, difficult to obtain, awesome to have in the collection, and we'll be taking a look at others as we go through the series. Let us know what you think in the comments wherever you happen to see the video. And as always, thanks for watching. Next up in our series of short videos about ammo in the 50 BMG collection will be this M1 tracer with a red tip. And I know the least about this, so this will probably be about the shortest video. I suspect this was for use in a belt with other ball ammo. So it'd probably be for something ball ammo and then a tracer. So since it's not incendiary or armor piercing, just plain old tracer, I suspect this was probably anti-personnel, but that's just a guess. So that's part of the fun of collecting those. So I'll take the rest of the time in this video to explain the reason. One of the reasons I'm doing this is not just for the sharing the interest in a cool type of caliber, but hopefully to encourage people that to think a little bit more about collecting some of this stuff, which is literally pieces of history in our hands, and something that I can have these in a linked belt, so they're easy to deal with. And I could easily go online and look up more about this round, which I will at some point, and know more about my collection and get more out of my collection. So until then, this is an M1 tracer, and we'll be looking at more of these selections in future videos. Please let us know in the comments wherever you happen to see the video. And as always, thanks for watching.
Paramount Plus has an unbeatable Black Friday offer.
I'm here to make you a proposition.
Next up in our series of short videos about the items in my 50 BMG collection is this 30 caliber sabot in a 50 BMG case. So this is the 50 BMG with the sabot, meaning there's this plastic holding in a 30 caliber projectile. That way the round goes off and everything's pushed down, just like a shotgun having the shotgun shot in a wad. The 30 caliber projectile would normally just flop around in the 50 caliber barrel. So it comes out with this sabot and goes down. Once it exits the barrel, this plastic falls off and the bullet keeps going. So this one looks to be some 30 caliber armor piercing, and I'm told everything from this is just loaded up to sell at gun shows to the other end of the spectrum. These are specially made for snipers for some reason. So I'll learn more about this one as I do more research on the collection, but I thought I'd share it with you. It's an interesting one. It's got the blue colored sabot or sabot, and we'll take a look at that compared to the more traditional slap round, which has the yellow. And we'll take a look at that in the next video, going through and looking at some items from the 50 BMG collection. Let us know what you think of the video, wherever you happen to see it. And as always, thanks for watching. All right, next up in our series of short videos about the 50 BMG collection is this blank. And as best I can find out, this is a German blank. You can see that the primer has been hit. There's nothing much going on with that head stamp, but the primer's been hit, and I suspect that's why it's busted open here. Nothing does come out. It's just a blank, as opposed to the blue one there, which is a short range projectile. So that's designed for use at shorter distances, and it does have a projectile which can be lethal, although it's also a training device, I believe. But this is a blank, and I have to say this is the thing I know least about as far as the collection goes. So hopefully somebody out there can give us some more insight into these. I've only found a few photos of them online, and they are all a little bit different, but I suspect that might be because they're from Germany. I'll take the rest of the minute.
Got that from Don Bell,
encourage anyone who's
R.I.P.
interested in
Awesome ass
collecting
dude.
something like this to go out and do so. It's not that expensive. It's something I can look for at gun shows, and it's fun. And obviously the stories and concepts behind each of these are both fascinating and fun to research. So hopefully I'm encouraging others to collect not just the 50, but other gun-related stuff. But let us know in the comments what you think, wherever you happen to see the video. And as always, thanks for watching. All right, next up in our series of short videos on ammo from the 50 BMG collection is this yellow tip heavy ball. And I don't have any nomenclature for this one. There's no military number or code name for this one. When I bought it, the reason I started this whole collection is I was up in Las Vegas at a gun show and saw this guy had a collection of 50 BMG, I guess kind of similar to this one, just in links, but a variety of different bullets. and I thought it was awesome. And I mean, I guess I always knew there were different projectiles out there, but I never thought of putting them together in a linked belt to keep the collection together. So that sparked the idea to do a collection. And I only had, I think, 30 or 40 bucks with me at the time. We were heading back to Tucson. So I bought whatever I could afford. And I'm almost positive this was one of them. And it was explained to me that these were for the Dominican Republic. And for some reason, their machine guns or something, they wanted this heavier ball ammo. So that's how they distinguished it with this big yellow tip. And I guess it's not real great ammo. It's real heavy, and some guns can have problems with it. But I don't know. I'm just going to go for my recollection there. And I'm only going with what I think the guy told me. So, again, one of the reasons of doing videos like this is to share and to get the stories from people who probably know a lot more about this from hands-on experience. That's this one. It's called the Heavy Ball, big yellow tip. And yet another in the series on the bullets from this collection. Please let us know in the comments, wherever you happen to see the video, what you think of the series. And as always, thanks for watching. Okay, next up in our series of short videos about items from the 50 BMG collection will be this one, which I'm going to call an M17 tracer. Now, I've got this other tracer here, the M2, which is definitely red, and I'm calling this one a maroon or a brown color. To get it to focus there. It's definitely not the same red as the M2, but they are both red when you look at them compared to others. So I'm going to suggest this is the M17, which make it a different type of tracer than the M2, but otherwise just a tracer. Anyway, it's a neat one, and it was a different color one I found. So perhaps someone out there can give us a little bit more information on it. It looks like it might be German with the head stamp EMZ. And is that an 85? I don't know what EMZ is. I haven't looked it up, but you don't have to know what you're buying when you buy it. This is something I found at a gun show, and I'll have fun at some point when I have time to do more research on these. Until then, I'm sharing them in these short videos. Let us know what you think, wherever you happen to see the video. And as always, thanks for watching. And next up will be the last in our series of short videos on the 50 BMG collection. And we'll wrap it up with this M23 incendiary. So this is, I believe, a standard ball ammo with an incendiary charge. The idea, give it a little pyrotechnic when it hits. If you're shooting at a vehicle or something that can catch fire, this will give a little bit more oomph than just standard lead. But again, the whole idea of this series was to just kind of talk about each of them and to hopefully get some feedback in the comments wherever you happen to see the video on the various types of ammo. So that'll wrap up the series. Let us know what you thought. If it's something that we get good response, we'll do it maybe with another caliber or perhaps going into more depth with the 50s. So let us know. It's a lot of fun doing stuff like this, and we enjoy it, and hope you are too. Again, let us know in the comments wherever you happen to see the video what you think so we get some feedback. And as always, thanks for watching. All right, next up in the series of short videos from ammo from the collection will be this black one. And this is a black one we found out in the desert. It's looks black like this, not because it's painted, but this is the way they look when they've been sitting out in the desert for a while. So this one is dated 43, so I was showing you there, and DM, and pretty cool. It doesn't sound like there's any powder in it, but I suspect it's just a plain old M2. Perhaps an M2 armor piercing. When you look at it in some light, it almost looks like there's a distinct band there. Since I don't have an M2 armor piercing, I like to think this covers both my M2 and my M2 armor piercing, at least for now, in the collection. So it's a neat one that I like because we literally found it, and again, that history. So that's another one in the collection. Hopefully you're liking this series of short videos, but let us know in the comments wherever you happen to see the video. And as always, thanks for watching. All right, next up on a series of short videos on the ammo from the 50 BMG collection is this M8 API, Armor Piercing Incendiary. Now I'm guessing that this stuff was what filled the belt with this M20, the Armor Piercing Incendiary Tracer. and then right every 4 or 5 rounds, and then a tracer. So this is armor piercing to give it a little extra impact, and then incendiary, meaning it's going to try to ignite whatever it hits, or hit to kind of explode. Not really explode, but deliver some pyrotechnic out there with that incendiary stuff in there. So anyway, this is the M8 gray tip API, armor piercing incendiary. I'm not saying that right, but I'll get it right eventually. Anyway, another item from the collection. Hopefully you're enjoying this series. Let us know if you are or if you're not, wherever you happen to see the video. And as always, thanks for watching. Next up, in a series of short videos about the ammo from the 50 BMG collection, we're looking at M20 Armor Piercing Incendiary Tracer. So this thing's got pretty much everything. It's got a little extra oomph with the armor piercing, and it's incendiary, so once it gets there and penetrates through with the armor piercing, it's going to ignite, hopefully, whatever it hit. And it's a tracer. So this would be in a belt with probably a lot of incendiary armor piercing. Every 5th one or so is going to be a tracer. Then that way somebody on a belt fed is going to be able to see, walk this thing in where it needs to be, probably on a vehicle. With the incendiary, it's going to work good with the fuels. So that's my guess. I'm sure if there's experts out there can let us know where I'm wrong about that, but I do know it's an M20 armor piercing incendiary tracer. Hopefully you're liking this series, but let us know in the comments wherever you happen to see the video. And as always, thanks for watching. All right, next up on the series of short videos about the 50 BMG collection is we're taking a look at an interesting one. This is an M48A1, which is used in, I think it's called an M8C spotting rifle, which sits on top of something like a recoilless rifle, like the 106 millimeter BAT, Battalion Anti-Tank Rifle. So here's the concept. This is what is this thing now? This is a tracer, and it's incendiary, so it's going to go out and be a tracer, and then when it hits, do something so you can find it. And I guess the size and everything is to mimic the trajectory of the recoilless rifle, with a lot less boom at the end and a lot less noise, I suspect, where you're shooting it from. So the idea was that M8C rifle was mounted on top of the recoilless rifle. You would insert one of these M48A1 cartridges into that M8 rifle, which is attached to the recoilless rifle, shoot it, get a pretty good idea of where you were going to hit, and then you put in your real charge in your recoilless rifle. Now, there might be a lot more to that or less to that. Feel free to let us know in the comments wherever you happen to see this video if you've got more to add. I'll give you, though, a look at it. Extremely cool little projectile. It's basically, I'm told, just a primer here, kind of pointing out the business end with some incendiary charge and I guess some sort of a steel tracer at the back. No steel core here. And then it's also, again, a lot shorter. Here's a standard 50 BMG, and here's the shorter case that it's in. Otherwise, standard 50 BMG with this projectile. And then you do see quite a bit of these projectiles on full-size cases where people take this thing apart and use the projectile again, which must be pretty neat to have an incendiary tracer. All right, so that's the M48A1. Let us know in the comments, wherever you happen to see the video, what you think of this series. And as always, thanks for watching. Next up in this series of short videos about the 50 BMG collection, we're taking a look at this plastic M858. This is a short-range training round, so it's not a dummy round like the red one here. This one is an actual projectile with charge and everything, and as this one shoots, it rips apart, and this part, which has some mass, I guess, goes down range. And the idea is to be able to shoot this in facilities that wouldn't normally handle ball ammo or any of the crazy stuff. So it's still lethal. It's not designed to be lethal, but it is, by nature dangerous. But it's an a short range training ammunition. So I've got a couple of these, and this happens to be one that I will be trading for the stuff I don't have. So if you're interested in obtaining one of these and you've got something that I don't have, let me know. Probably the easiest way to do it is through gunwebsites@gmail.com or one of the other ways on our website. So that's a quick video on the M858, and we'll take a look at others in the videos as we go along. Let us know in the comments what you think, and as always, thanks for watching.
I'm here for service and ready for battle.
No need. We're your neighborhood go-to for easy, fast, and friendly car.
All right, next up in our series of short videos about the 50 caliber BMG rounds in the collection here, we're taking a look at the M903 slap for sabbated light armor penetrator. So this is a 30 cal tungsten penetrator in a plastic sabot, and it's got an aluminum base to it. So again, the cartridge goes off, pushes the whole thing down the barrel. The 30 cal core keeps going, and the aluminum and plastic sabot falls away. They also make a version of this as a tracer that has a red colored plastic sabot. So pretty cool, fairly rare. I'll show you the head stamp on this one since a lot of them are kind of boring. This one does say slap on it. And again, 50 BMG. Hopefully this is interesting. Let us know in the comments wherever you happen to see the video. And as always, thanks for watching. And next up in our series of short videos from the 50 BMG collection will be this Mark 257. This is a dim tracer. So it's purple and gray. The idea is it's for use with night vision. So they would put this dim tracer in with the Rufus and the black tip M2 armor piercing. That way you'd have armor piercing, a Rufus round to really give it some bang, and then a dim tracer so that it was not giving a direct beam of light right back to whoever was shooting from a belt. Used with the night vision devices, this is an incendiary, but given off such a dim amount or a low amount of visible light that it's basically picked up by the night vision better than just regular sight. It's a neat one, a tough one to get, a very modern one. It's got a head stamp of 06, and this one I know for a fact came off the belt with my Rufus round, which makes it doubly awesome for me. So that's the Mark 257 dim tracer. Hope you're enjoying this series. This is wrapping it up. We got one more to do, so let us know in the comments what you thought and wherever you happen to see the video. And as always, thanks for watching. All right, in this last video on the 50 BMG collection, we'll put them back into the links, or keep the collection. Since I had them all out, I figured I'd put them back in some kind of order. So we got the M1, the M2, the M8, the 17, the M20, the M24, the I forget which mark this is, Mark 48 or something, the spotter tracer, then the Mark 257, then the Mark 211 Mod 0, the Mark 858, I think, the short range, the heavy ball, the 30 caliber sabot, the tungsten sabot, the German blank, and then this red and blue one I have yet to identify. I'm going to put them back into their links. So this is an M9 link made by a couple of different factories, I'm sure, since they've been around for so long. If I can get it to focus there. And they're pretty easy to deal with. They're just a spring steel, so they're going to open up. You take two of them, you put them together, grab your first round, you just insert them, give it a little twist. Again, they're spring steel, so they're just going to open up to the cartridge. Bring in the next one, give them a little twist. They go right in. Pretty easy to feed them back in. I'll pause it here, though. It's take forever, and we'll be right back. All right, and then as I did the last one here, I'll just mention really the only thing you can do wrong on a link would be to put it in upside down. And you can see then they would want the next one to go in the wrong way. So as long as you got them all the right way, I think it's a great way to keep a collection like this. Easy to see them all. Easy to check out their head stamps on the bigger belts here. You can check out their head stamps real easily as well. All right, so that's the 50 BMG collection. And I guess that'll be a pause on this one for a while. Maybe we'll retouch this one in the future. But stay tuned for other series like this on other types of ammo. All right, let us know again in the comments what you think of these, or if you have anything to add. Maybe if you can identify this last one with the red and blue tip, that would be great. And as always, thanks for watching. Yeah, that's Oro at the Red Dawn filming locations and at that museum. And at the Barrett factory. I forgot about that. And he was shooting Jaeger's M107 at that car, caught it on fire. That's what a 50 does to a car when you shoot the engine a bunch of times, because it wouldn't let them go over there and bite it.
The guys and gals of gunwebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thanks for watching gunwebsites.com.
Up on Bullet of the Day, I'm going to go into one of my favorite rounds in the collection, and that's in the 50 BMG belt here, and that's this one with the green tip, the silver band behind it. It's the Rufus round. I've done videos on it specifically. It's my favorite round because this is a piece of small explosive in here, and this is the largest amount of explosive you're able to own without any kind of license. Pretty cool. So this round is designed to give the 50 BMG the same kick when it hits target, same stopping power as a 20 millimeter. So basically it's an explosive, armor piercing incendiary. So it hits the target, makes a little hole, and sends the rest of the lethality inside. So it would be on a belt with these dim tracers, which we'll talk about at some other time. But next up is this one, or today's ammo is this one, the Rufus round for the 50 BMG. By far, well, close to this one for coolest rounds in my collection. But super stoked to be able to obtain this one. It comes from a cool origin, which will remain my story, but excellent round for a really cool 50 BMG collection. And obviously looking forward to any comments or stories in the comments that you might have about your experience with or knowledge of the Rufus round in 50 BMG. So that's today's bullet of the day, and leave some comments below. As always, thanks for watching. Next up on our bullet of the day series, we look at a new bullet every single day, is this one. And you might think you know what it is because it looks like 50 BMG, but you might not be correct. It is a 50 BMG, 1943 actually. However, it's not just a 50 BMG case. The projectile, if you take a look at it compared to a standard one here, has a little bit different shape to it. So a little more, it goes out and then comes down, tapers in, where these are a little bit more curvy. So you can see it does look a little different than your standard. When you feel it, it doesn't weigh anywhere near as much as a standard either. And that's because we'll get to the actual clue here. It's a lighter. So inside here is a lighter. This is just a cover over it. And I guess these were available in Korea during the war as a souvenir type of thing. So people would get these, use them to, I guess, fill up with the fluid. This must come out. I haven't tried pulling it out. And then this little cover comes on and it makes it look like a 50 BMG. So it's a unique one for the collection. And I grabbed this for just a few dollars, $15 at the largest gun show in the world in Tulsa last year, or earlier this year actually. So that was another item in the collection.
I wish I could go to Wanamaker again.
Let us know what you think of that one or the series in general. And as always, thanks for watching.
Oh shit. They copyright me every time I play that.
Alright, so
quit it.
So now we'll do another edition of the I Hate Guns podcast. I should probably address it again because I don't do it enough. That it's called the I Hate Guns podcast because I bought IHateGuns.com a long time ago. I was looking for something to do with it.
Wow.
And decided called.
So this was when before I called it the Daily Gun Show, I called it the I Hate Guns podcast. And I'm explaining
considers
why.
themselves anti-gun might watch it, find out that we're normal, kind of cool people who find all kinds of things interesting about guns, and then they become gun people. And there's always a chance that happens. I don't know. So anyway, that's why it's called that. And we're going to be talking about the continuing adventures of the Gun Show Loophole Tour, which this year we're going to various gun shows and gun shops throughout the country, as well as visiting private collections. And today we're talking again about the Wooden Labs, a private ammunition collection that I've had the privilege and honor to visit a couple of times. And I took a bunch of pictures this last visit of the 50 BMGs and some other stuff. So we'll be taking a look at the raw pictures, and we've got a couple of people joining us. Got both hosts of the Hit or Miss podcast on Tuesdays. We got Night Strike and Smeggy. Thanks for jumping in.
No problem. Yeah, thanks for having us.
And then we got Pink. What would you call yourself? The host of the lobby chats on the gun channels most evenings?
Late host.
I guess we got Smeggy can consider himself an early host. So you guys, did you hear that somebody approached us in email to start doing a 4 a.m. slot? So I think that would be 7 a.m. Eastern to do a kind of a pre-daily show lobby. That would pretty much bring us full circle.
Yep.
Which that would be kind of cool.
But I would enjoy that, being able to listen to it at work. I think, in my case, maybe a lot of other people wouldn't be able to jump in and talk, but I would definitely enjoy chatting along, typing along with it.
Well, yeah, I guess people aren't done when there's just a lobby going on with other people in it, because it's better than any radio, right? You can, and then if you want to, you can go over and type in the chat, and half the time people are going to acknowledge what you're typing about, and you can kind of stir the conversation or add to it. All right, well, it's enough commercial for gun shows.
So are those 50 BMG Glocks or something?
No, that's just my desktop here. I should probably have changed it to this anyway, because this is a cooler one. There we go. This one. I'll make that my background. And then that way when I close all the windows again, see, now that's my background. So otherwise, I'm just sharing one of my monitors here. And I've got a bunch of pictures from the visit up on the window here. So we'll just go through them chronologically, I guess, and look at them and chat about them. We got about an hour, I think, till Heavy goes live or something like that. So we'll just monitor the gun channels chat. Whenever somebody goes live, I'll shut it down. But I just figured we had some time here where people were chatting, and I wanted to do, ongoing adventures of the Gun Show Loophole Tour to share with everybody what the cameras are getting out to, even with the band shut down. So this was the first picture. I don't know what these are supposed to be. I don't know the little ammo enough, but there's some kind of crazy 9mm size case that's neck down to something like 22 or 17 maybe. And they were in taped to this card. And I just thought it was cool because right away you saw a bunch of different kind of projectiles, but the picture didn't work out very good. Now, is there any chance you remember those 11.11 what's-its that I have, that I got at Tulsa?
Yeah.
That's this thing here, right? So I'm going to go try to jump over to, where am I going to find it? On stupid Instagram, maybe. How long ago did I post a picture of those things?
I don't know how long ago it was.
Neither do I.
Oh my, that was an interesting hashtag.
Yeah, hashtag what's it? That's not good for anybody. I don't know if you can do this on screen, but I was going to try to, for reference, get a picture of that what's it round. It wasn't that long ago. Is it?
Might have been a while.
You know what I can do? I'm going to type in like tiny ammo or something like that. There's no way that'll should bring up anything weird.
It's Instagram. If you're saying that, you haven't been in it long enough.
There we go. So there it is. So this is the picture I was thinking of. So way over the hell over here, that's a 22 short. This is a 22 BB. That's a 7. That's a 1-1. What's it? It's called. So 0.11. It's a 4mm round rimfire, neck down to 1 millimeter for no reason. There's no gun that shoots it. Somebody just made that thing, and he's got them.
I own one of them
in his collection. But look at how they dwarf these little guys. So these are working centerfire cartridges over here that are in corrugated paper. So they're smaller than this 4mm projectile here that's neck down to 1. These things look like they're, what, 2 millimeters maybe? So same as like a 2mm pinfire, except that they're centerfire cartridges. If I remember right, this little silver guy right here, you can barely see, that's a 1/10 or 1/3 or something scale of a 10mm. It's in the package there. Anyway, he has a bunch of little tiny ammo, so let's take a picture of that. A bunch of the little 4mm rimfires.
See, that stuff's cool to me because that shows, like, back in the day, they were experimenting with, different ammo and different guns and stuff. And those were almost always for, like self-protection, last ditch effort type of little guns.
No, I think these are beyond that, dude. This is probably a 25 ACP right here. These are like to prove that it can be done kind of thing, and maybe for like some kind of toy, but I think mostly just to prove it can be done. These are very tiny. They're definitely, they probably hurt, especially if you shot somebody in the eye or something, but if they shoot, and I expect they do, then I don't think they're meant to be effective or anything. I'm trying to put, Raphael had a good point. I should have put like a quarter down or a dime. This thing, a dime would have made these things look like they're sitting on a dinner plate. It was regular size bullet. So I knew I wasn't getting great pictures there because I didn't have any strategy. So like I'll bring back a quarter or a dime or something next time. Or maybe just like a single 9mm on a piece of thread or something that I can just set down next to everything as like a size reference. And I found this thing, which is some kind of 5.81 or 5.8 by 21. I just thought it looked cool. And it was labeled. You know what that is? 22 pokey. It looks like it's a 25 auto neck down to 22. Long rifle, maybe? Anybody heard of it? 22 pokey?
Never heard of it.
Yeah. So then
that's centerfire too, isn't it?
Yeah, well, 25 ACP cartridge still. So it's centerfire. This thing here, I put up an Instagram on this, and it turns out people could either read about the cartridge on the head stamp or knew what it was, but it's a 224 BOZ. Ever heard of it? Look at this guy next to it. It says 10mm, so I'm guessing it's something like a 10mm neck down to, I don't know, 22. Anyway, that's look cool. So it's a picture of it. These look to me like some sort of micro round, right? 9 by.
Yeah, sabots.
Well, yeah, but with different projectiles. Maybe 5.4 projectiles in them. Seems like something the Russians would try, like shoving their AK-74 ammo into a Tokarev. Or these Makarov, I don't know. But anyway, what is this? Just Tokarev, right? So it looks like. And I think I have a couple of pictures of cross sections here, which are kind of cool too. Martin, the other day when we were looking at some of the pictures from an earlier visit, was saying how sometimes you can get the channel on these Verdant primers, but it all obviously has to be set up just right so that you can get the actual cut of both channels. I think this one was a little bit not quite in the center, so that they would keep the primer in there, but then they missed the second channel. And I quickly stopped taking pictures of these because they're super boring. I'm just looking at a billion different kinds of the different head stamps probably. There wasn't as much variety as there is with some of the cool rifle stuff. Here's some 9mm though, just because I figured that would go well with the millennial crowd out there. I feel like they can't get enough 9mm pictures, action shots. Look at this little 9mm funny looking thing. 22 or some kind of shot shell. If I'm scrolling in and out too fast, let me know, because I know Dan will seizure out. Oh, see, Smeggy couldn't handle it. It's like, I'm out of here.
Now, I was noticing on those Tokarev rounds or whatever, instead of being crimped, they're what? Got like a stake in it?
Yeah.
Got like a stake?
That's what it looks like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably somehow cheaper or faster. Or it worked, I guess. All right, so then eventually I got sick of looking at 9mm here, and now we get into 50 BMGs, which is what we're talking about. So I think I've shown the stacks of shells before, but they go through the American and then the foreign, and there's definitely quite a bit of neat stuff in here. So this was just a place to start. And I don't know if there's any rhyme or reason to it. Looks like there's some neat stuff here. This is an interesting cut to show some of the various layers of what's going on inside of there. He definitely has a lot of cutaways, so that was pretty interesting. And tons of these, I don't know what you call experimental prototype type of things. Like these look like they have some kind of just metal spike inside of some kind of polymer. There's something with pins inside of polymer. Sabo.
A couple of them were hollow too, weren't they?
Hollow, how do you mean? It's just the core or the shell, maybe?
Right there, right there.
Yeah. See, I don't know. Some of these might be like this, where the whatever powder was in there fell out, or part of the development, you know, like part of the assembly process, and they just hadn't got to where they shoved stuff in there yet. There's a lot of them, so it could just be how some of them are. You don't know. But yeah, that's definitely a characteristic of a whole bunch of them here. Some of these have like jet holes. You can't tell until you get a cutaway. At least I can't. It's not like it's possible to go, tell me about this one, tell me about this one, tell me about this one. Tell me about
Are you sure they're like them and not some of them aren't prototypes or anything?
Oh no, there's definitely like prototypes, and he has, like I say, production samples. Like maybe if they pull stuff off the line for sampling and then it doesn't get thrown back into the recycle bin, you know, a collector like this might appreciate it. So some of these might just be like that was part of the draw. Like that was the next step in assembly would have been to taper it maybe. So this might just be typical, like taken out of the production line. Like I say, it's hard to say without way more knowledge on them. I'm hoping there's a book or something out there that I can get into. I'm a member of the International Cartridge Club now, so I'm hoping to ask questions there, but then help facilitate getting pictures. So if somebody wants to see 6 or 8 of these things together for some reason, like I'll help go there and get the pictures for them. And then in the process, you know, by osmosis, I'll learn what the hell they're putting those 6 together for, or why, you know, what the significance is. But you can see they put different shapes on the back and then made out of different materials. So this this looks like a cross section of one of these with the black plastic pins. So it's just all lead with a copper jacket. it was kind of random pictures before I started pulling some out and taking specific pictures. I thought this one was kind of cool. I don't know if I took a specific picture of it, but that color case looks pretty crazy. Looks like
green.
It's definitely painted or anodized or something. I mean, it was professionally done. So this is basically the black armor piercing projectile with a cutaway that's cut in half, which is so cut in half so well that that's like a mirror. It was really tough to get a shot without like a reflection of my camera or something in it. And then this one is the cutaway with the steel insert, still three-dimensional. That's super cool. And kind of just gives you a better idea of what's going on with that projectile up there, how the primer works and stuff. Like you said, these are some of the cooler pictures, I think. And since
I love the cutaway pictures. I think they're the best.
And since I figured I could get these fairly easily, I thought that was maybe the most productive use of my time. So some I did like this with just the projectile, so you can get an idea of what it, because sometimes when you just see a cross section, if you're not an engineering mindset, you might not know what you're really looking at there. So this kind of gives you some better views. And then I think I tried to do your typical photography thing, take a couple of 3 pictures of each so that I have one that I could, be usable, hopefully. I did some quick videos too. I don't know if they'll come in as I'm scrolling through, I guess not. But like this here, there was no way to describe what that is. So I did a quick video and I couldn't really talk. So they're just me kind of waving the bullet around. Oh, that's fine with this guy. So maybe I can play some of those videos if you want. So what's blue? Incendiary, I guess. So the powder burns, it lights this stuff. Eventually it goes down here, and then the whole front just blows up. Or is this outside part the incendiary part? Hard to tell from that picture. Definitely looks like there's a little jet back here, though. It'd be great to have an armorer, somebody that whose job was to know all these different types of munitions.
Now, is that powder? I mean, was it loose in those cutaways, or was it?
No, it's always in there. I'm thinking maybe nail polish or like clear epoxy, or he said sometimes it's just fake, like pepper or something that looks right, but they try to make it the right kind of powder.
Oh
man.
The freedom was just too much to handle.
Yeah.
There he is.
At least he jumped back in faster than I did when I got kicked off.
That was from my computer, for whatever reason, decides to sleep when it's not. I had that issue ever since this laptop came out. So that gave me a second to go look at the chat, though. It looks like people are joining us. We've got a couple people watching. So, yeah, if you want to ask questions or whatever, feel free. That's all this shit. What the hell language are these people speaking? Let's get rid of all this. Getting trolled in some weird language. Hesitate to call it Nazi language, but it kind of looks like Nazi language. I'm getting.
So it's in Clintonese?
No, Nazi. Some kind of weird German or something.
So I have a question.
Sure.
Do you know how they get those rounds cut in half? How they make those?
No, I think that's either people will be like, oh yeah, it's super easy, or they'll be like, no, it's super secret. So I don't know. Either they just do it with a saw or something, or they do it with a grinder and grind a piece away. But it kind of seems like they do it with a saw.
Kind of like those saws that Huck uses for his jewelry.
They use water jets.
Well, this
It's a little teeny.
he uses like a hand. Just because these things are so straight, I assume it's some sort of power saw. Unless it's like a grinder. I know that they can do polish. They'll just sometimes hold them up to a grinder. Maybe they just cut it roughly, and I don't know. I mean, I got to imagine all these little layers. These are nothing. Wait till you get to some of these where there's like little air gaps and stuff. It have to be super hard. I've heard of like taking the cartridge apart, right? So having your projectile and your powder and everything in separate piles, and then filling the case with polymer, like just soaking it in, or embedding it in polymer, and then cutting it on a saw, and then just peeling away the polymer, so that it doesn't, the saw doesn't deform the cartridge as it's cutting through an empty tube, basically empty pipe. This one here, it's hard to tell, but it's an incendiary tracer. So it's got two different kinds of powder that make up most of it. So it's powder, right? How do you keep that together without doing something? So they put these two little pins in, and that's a piece of plastic or a piece of plexiglass that's cut to the shape of the bullet. And I had to take a couple pictures because it was reflecting so bad. But that's just kind of pins going through to the other side. I don't know if I guess I didn't take a picture of the other side of it. Let's see it here in the thing. But that was one way of doing it, where they cut it, I guess, with a saw and then put a piece of plexiglass on it.
It almost looks like it might have been cut with a mill, like an end mill did or something. Might have been cut on a mill.
Yeah, exactly. Like just sacrifice half of it to get the good half. And sometimes they go not quite all the way in, and a little bit more than it, all the way, depending on what they're doing. But I think that'd be a great question, and hopefully I'll learn more about that as I start going to some of these cartridge shows. So there's whole gun shows that are just specifically for ammunition and cartridge collectors. So I plan on attending as many of those as I can once I get the van running. And I'm going to start collecting the 7.62 ammo instead of bayonets.
They might cut it with a water jet.
I was thinking that.
Yeah, I was kind of curious and looked it up just now, and they've got real small cuts that they're doing on these water jets.
So I don't know how many of them went through there, but we'll just keep digging. So if you want to see something specifically, there's just so much variety here. It's kind of crazy. I'll go to some of the videos. This one was kind of neat. There's just two ball bearings, I think, or whatever those are. And then in the saddle or whatever. I don't know what the point of that is, but look at this guy. It's a red, like, dart missile thing inside of one.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah, that's why I'm not going to dig into the video, because I did a video of that, I know.
So how do they propel that? Do they use powder with that too, or what?
Well, I'm assuming there was, because if you look in the video, you can see it. Let me see if I can get a better picture. There's powder in the cutaway. It's just that it's glued to the sidewall, and since you're only looking in like a quarter of it, it's hard to see, but there's like powder in there. They just didn't have it packed in there because they want you to see that it's kind of just in there, I think.
I'd like to know how effective those rounds were.
So I'm assuming, I don't know, but I'm assuming that they were so effective that they couldn't make them again. That's why we've never seen them.
It probably blew up in the rifle, in the barrel.
Maybe they're for underwater.
Oh, probably went the wrong way. Okay.
That actually had a steel dart inside of the dart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some type of core.
Okay. All right. I don't know if this is just going to take an hour and a half, or if my computer can't do it, but you will eventually get to a video popping up on the screen. So here's another one that's got a weird looking projectile shape, but you can see there's obviously a dart in there. This one of the fins broke off, but you can see that that's a dart in there same way.
It looks to me like the dart just gets dragged behind the bullet. You know, like the powder should go around that dart, and then the powder will propel the bullet like normal, and that dart's just dragged along with it.
Well, the dart is it. That's what I'm saying. Like this one, it's not so clear because there's so much plastic, but the dart is it. So yeah, it's going to push on that plastic collar, but then once it leaves the gun, that's like what do you call it? That's like a torpedo or something. Yeah, okay, just play the damn thing.
It's still that image. Oh, there it is.
Wait for this meet there. I'm just trying to update or something. So that's that one I was telling you has the plexiglass on it. And you see what I'm talking about. It's just got some rivets going through to hold it together.
Right.
Pretty hard to get a video or a picture of that to show it. See, I clicked on this video whenever I closed the other one, and we're just waiting on this time for the computer to come back up. here. It'll just surprise us. Am I going the right way? I think so. See, I'd like to really know what some of these colors are. That's my big thing. And then of course, try to find those colors out there. Yeah.
A red, black, and white striped one. Huh.
I guess in this video, I'm just kind of exploring the drawer here. I'm gonna call this the exploring the drawer video. There's a bunch of different darts, plastic flechettes or whatever. No, not flechettes, but sabots. Now that thing is a whole projectile made of flechettes, little tiny darts. But can you see how that's a projectile itself? So when that thing hits, I imagine, it just either in flight or when it hits, turns into something wicked.
See, I feel like some of that stuff, when it gets super complicated, you're kind of just asking for,
You're trying to do too many things at once.
Yeah, or it busts up. I mean, I've seen enough YouTube videos with like weird shotgun rounds and stuff to realize that the basic bullet design, it's like that for a reason. Like it flies pretty good.
See the powder in there? See the powder when I'm moving it?
Yeah. So, cause I feel like that dart that that you just showed, it's so long and narrow that like the drag and stuff would end up making it unstable in flight.
So you'd rather not eat? You'd be like, this is all a waste. They shouldn't even be spending this kind of time on these bullets.
Well, no, go ahead and play around with stuff. That's cool. I like innovation, but I'm just saying it seems like the majority of the time, there's a reason that most places just use regular old boring bullets because they work.
Well, they might work for some things. I suspect some of these are for purposes. Taking care of some kind of business. Can't be done with a plain old piece of lead. Just my guess. Is that video coming through still?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
This is one drawer, keep in mind.
So it'd be almost like some of them be almost like a bunker buster. The outer shell would get it through the bunker, and then
Concrete busters, probably.
yeah, and then the little ones, after it gets through the concrete, they go flying.
Look at this guy.
Wow. I have no idea what that one's for.
It's
like taking out an engine or something, probably. Anti-equipment.
Anti-ninja rounds. We need to make that a thing.
And then I'll go back to that one. So that's probably going to be the Bullet of the Day episode. That's a peek. So I tried looking at color codes, and it's tough already for the ones in my little collection. He's got colors here that don't exist on any charts I've seen. Just stuff I took pictures of. I don't even know what it is. There's a bunch of Rufuses. I think you would call them Roof Eye. There's that many of them. That one looks like they painted, I think, unless that's a plastic insert. I think I have another one here where they have the actual insert still solid. You can kind of see it in this one. Very good. Oh, there it is. So you can see that little insert. It's almost like a dart inside of the bullet. I guess that might be tungsten or something. So maybe this is to explode, and then that's to continue moving.
Right, like an armor-piercing kind of core, and then that helps like shoot the explosion part, into the hole that the tungsten punched. Like when they're shooting a tank or something, they want it to go off inside it.
You ever seen anything like this before?
No.
We'll
check that.
We'll this drawer open. So I mean, I've heard of some of these things, but never imagined that you could have this many of them in a drawer to fiddle around with. So that's the one I put on Instagram the other day. It was clear, so it was easiest to see. But a whole bunch of these are Trowns that are real. Well, they're all real. That was some kind of totally clear one, I imagine, for illustration. But the rest of them all have like plastic, black plastic and stuff around it.
Oh, that's that. Okay, yeah, I've seen that before.
Yeah, there's a 50 BMG Trown, so there's no chamber. The plastic part is the chamber, so it doesn't have to extract or anything. And they just have like big, they look like seeds. They can go in, fill the chamber cavity, and then just completely, I guess it just kills all the plastic, so there's nothing to eject. So I'm not sure how they work. These are something similar, like all the powder is over here. I don't remember what that gun looks like. Then he's got these used lockless things that have 3 rounds in them. So I wish I could do more justice knowing what the hell I'm taking a look at, but looked at these. These are weird.
Whoa, go back one or two. I think that's a Dardic round.
No, that's one way to call it. But yeah, there's a whole shit ton of them there. This whole pile of them is that. Along the front here is different size ones. They say things like proof and stuff, so imagine you got some of the remnants of that guy's
prototypes.
Yeah, his company's stuff. So this is supposed to be a multi-caliber one, but they only loaded it with one. But I mean, a multi-projectile thing. So maybe shoot 2 or 3 projectiles at once.
Oh, so they'd all be like kind of in a row, and then
I guess so. Maybe for a purpose. Hard to say. So this was a whole drawer of spotters, which is pretty crazy. I have one, and I didn't even realize there was different kinds, but some of them, I don't know if I have an actual picture, but it's almost like the primer just shoots off this big 22 caliber round inside of it. I don't know if they're supposed to be powder also, or if that's just a different kind of primer, or what the hell I'm looking at here, but these are sub-caliber spotters. So you would put this little tiny rifle on top of like a howitzer or some big cannon, and they were balanced or set up so that they would travel the same trajectory as your cannon. So you could shoot one of these spotter tracers out of your 50 BMG towards whatever you're shooting at and not waste a cannon round missing. You know what I mean? So you'd shoot this thing to spot it, and then once you got your spotter rounds getting, I guess you'd shoot the real cannon. At least that's what I think they're for. And there's just a couple of drawers up, and there's tons. I had no idea. But you've got like, I think these are head stamps, or we call head spacing things. Makes sense. They'd have to build them, just like a rifle. And this one's pretty neat looking, pretty complicated looking bullet there. Doing some kind of shenanigans as it hit, I suspect. So I'm hoping again that I can be that I facilitate some people that know what they're looking for in this collection, and I can help them go in and get specific pictures next to each other, or pull out some specific things for pictures, and then learn a bunch about it, and then pass that along. Here's one of those ones that has just the ball bearings in it. Now this one here, I looked at these the last time. I didn't even bother taking pictures of them this time because there's so many of them, but I guess these are EOD rounds. They would just take a 50 BMG loaded up to explode. So he said they're EOD rounds, like if it was a common thing. So we'd have to talk to somebody in EOD, but that might just be what they would put in with ordnance to blow it up, right? Makes sense that they'd make it out of something laying around, and the 50 BMG cartridge is big enough. Imagine if you pack that full of real explosive, it does the trick to blow up ordnance or whatever. So here's some Athena bullets, whatever that means. They look kind of cool though. Got little fins and ports on them in the front for some reason.
No, those are all titanium? Those were all titanium.
Is that what it said?
No, I mean, it's just the way they looked. It looked like titanium there, like the top right.
Could be.
Did you see that one that was like super neck down?
Where's that? In here?
On your last picture.
In here?
Right in the middle, yeah. What's that all about?
I don't know. I tried looking. A lot of these things are marked, so I could look at the marking and go look, but I don't, I'm just still exploring, so I haven't done any real research yet. But yeah, that would, I mean, try to pick, where would you start to start?
Start at number 1, and that's number 5,268,000.
It
Seriously,
says ported tracer. It's what's saying on the paper.
red and red, and I think that was this thing here, but it's hard to say. Yeah, I don't know any of this stuff. What Athena bullets mean. So then I got a bunch of these types. This is the money shot. This is my favorite shot.
Yeah.
So that's basically the blue, the yellow, the black, the red and green, which I can't find anywhere. I know it's API something, but whose it is or what. Then I found light blue and red, but not green and red. And then red and silver. So the silvers and the reds and blues are pretty common. Blacks are fairly common. And these yellows, I don't know what's going on with that because I can't find yellow anywhere either except for the Dominican Republic heavy ball. It certainly don't look like heavy ball anymore. It looks like some kind of armor piercing. And so anyway, this will be, we'll have people jump in once I know more people that know about ammo, and we'll dissect some of these.
What's interesting, like the two that you said were hard to find, that yellow one and then the other one, they almost look similar other than like the core on the yellow one is set further back and the green and red one has, what is that, like a little powder with the little port or something in them? Like,
this usually is tracer, right? So the thing goes off, and then this is tracer. I'm assuming when you put stuff in front, that might be incendiary, but usually there's like a tunnel. Like this is incendiary, I think, or maybe this is just tracer. So yeah, I don't know.
So it looks like it's just like a steel core or a tungsten core with a tracer for the red and green.
But this might be lead up here, or this might be some kind of something special that when it hits and this thing shifts forward, it compresses it and blows a little hole.
So, maybe, yeah, something that's, sensitive to impact so that that core comes forward and hits that thing.
Right, and then that blows a little hole and lets the core come in and do its business. And this might be a tracer version of it, but I'm just speculating. So we'll learn more as time goes on. A bunch of pictures of that because it was beautiful. And then as I put those away, I just went through and did some shots like this one to have better close-up shots of some of these. For basically the website over there. Put all this on Ammo Buyer's Guide.
Oh, see, that one looked like it had powder surrounding that core.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So some of these
to
decipher. See how this is definitely tracer, right?
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. So look at the way that is compared to what this is. So that makes me think, is this an incendiary little charge up here? Or maybe something about when this moves forward under all that pressure, this is going to ignite something, or maybe it's packed in some kind of stuff like this tracer burns and then all this explodes. I don't know.
Right, yeah, because there could be like a tunnel underneath the tracer part that allows it to burn up. Yeah, I didn't see from the other picture. There's definitely powder behind that core.
Right here. I mean, yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Now I'm just going to quickly do a Google search for this shape of grain and then accurate metallurgic comparison of what that is.
Yeah, just call up NCIS. They can figure it out.
I'm going to fax you a grain structure of a bullet with a yellow tip on it.
Yeah, that's definitely some type of incendiary thing. That's cool.
This kind of bullet lodged in them. Can you give us the origin? I posted this one already. People can try to guess what these are. Good luck. I just picked them randomly out of the drawer, so I don't even know what they are. This thing is a not just painted white. That's a plastic projectile or a plastic cone on the top hiding something fun right there. This one's obviously a blank. This one is a headspace gauge for 50.
That one wood?
This?
Yeah.
No, metal, but it's like just the copper shell of something, so I don't know if that makes it a blank. Somebody said low energy internal, like indoor round or something, but I don't know if that is or not. I literally just picked out of the drawer, and it looked cool. I didn't pick up, there's enough of these that are complete. I could pick one up and see if they feel heavy on top. But, because like this one, I'm pretty sure it's just a regular round with some kind of really meaty projectile, right? But it looks the same as this one, all empty. So I doubt this thing is just a primer in that big heavy projectile, unless it's a blank or something. But because the vertical rim and all that. I'm guessing this is something that's meant to boogie. And then I have no idea what white, blue, and yellow is. It's kind of party round for somebody. And then that's just a weird blank that's taped so far to the front that it actually, I don't know what that's for. Maybe airplanes or something so they don't misfeed.
But the white, blue, and yellow one, you should have just started cutting through it because he doesn't have a cutaway of it.
Yeah, exactly. I just started yanking on it with this pocket knife. But
next time you got to sneak in a little hacksaw and just go to town.
Oh, is Heavy getting going now? So I think Heavy's going to start here in a minute. So I'll just see. We're pretty much to the end of the pictures anyway. I think.
They were awesome pictures, though, and awesome video too.
Yeah, I got a couple more videos that I'll post up as parts of the look of the day or whatever, and then continue to keep visiting as much as I can before they get sick of me over there, and you get more cool pictures. I haven't even started looking at the 45 ACP yet. I barely looked at the 9mm a little bit, confirmed that it's boring.
Now, hang on.
Is that local to you?
It's I'm able to get to it without the van. Let's go back. But
Purple.
Yeah, these are dim tracers, so these are going with Rufus in the low light situation. So these are a tracer that you see with infrared. Otherwise, you don't see them. So it'd be one of these, or five of these, or 4 of these, and then a Rufus. So I have a couple of these. I have one of these with my Rufus, just so they can remain teammates together in my collection.
Thanks.
And I know these are something. These are like more accurate sniper rounds or something when they put pencil shape like this. So I suspect there's a reason why so many of them have that shape. That must be more ballistic or something. Remember, these things are made to be anti vehicles and anti property. They're supposed to be killing engines and planes and things. So I think these make it more into like a sniper type round. I think or maybe a hunting round, because that's a big non-aerodynamic thing flying through the air at great distance, right? I think this is supposed to counteract some of that. You can kind of see how many shells there are there. So the BMG is basically one whole stack and then a half, and there's definitely more stacks of stuff to explore. So I'll be back over there as much as I can. This is the different head stamps on Rufuses. So just in case you thought it would be cool to just get one Rufus, now you can see that there's all these different primer sealant colors, and your collection won't be complete until you get a couple of different primer sealant colors. 3 different colors of green, light blue, pink. See, pink, you can get at least 3 different types of Rufus rounds.
Yeah.
Pink collection. Get a cutaway of one of these rounds, which is cool. I have one that's been shot before, but none that just cut away the side like this. So that's pretty neat. That's what it shoots, just the solid plastic projectile piece rips off the front and starts shooting. It's just a primer in there. And that's the beginning. So that took right about an hour or so. So stop screen sharing there. Thank everybody for showing up. I can get this one in the middle of nowhere, but wanted to look at those pictures raw, share them with people, and kind of get an idea. It's the first time I'm looking at all of them, so now I have a better idea of what kind of bullets of the days I can make out of all that. Oh, yeah, that's
very cool.
Anybody has any specific questions, feel free to email them to gunwebsites@gmail.com or leave them in comments wherever you have to see the video. And you guys want to say anything before we head out?
No, I'm good.
Just thanks for sharing. That's shit's just awesome to look at and learn about. You know, that's like almost every one of those rounds I can say I have never seen before.
Yeah, same here. So hopefully we'll do more than share them. We'll get some people in to know what we're looking at there, and then get their, helping us ID them and stuff like that. So yeah, thanks for showing up. Makes it easier to do it when there's people in the room here. And we'll hit this and run out.
Praise the Lord.
they will copyright me for that. That might be the end of the playlist. Yeah, that's the end of the playlist. So that was the 50 BMG playlist, 21 videos, just over an hour and 15 minutes. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. If you can identify any of the co-hosts of the last chunk there, the Daily Gun Show, feel free. Otherwise, let us know your favorite 50 BMG round. Hopefully everybody's having a good holiday, and thanks for watching.
GearWebsites.com is your source for firearms-based playing cards and books. We also have mugs, shirts, and posters with designs that we've made live. Of course, we have patches. Every Friday is Free Patch Friday. We appreciate your support. Thank you for shopping at GearWebsites.com.